There is nothing more that I like than a good, healthy debate. We got a Tesla bull versus a Tesla bear. Let's get into it.
One of my next guests says Musk has bitten off more than he can chew when it comes to Doge. Let's bring in Bradley Tusk, a co-founder and managing partner of Tusk Venture Partners, and George Gianarikas, who is managing director at Canaccord Genuity. Gentlemen, thanks. And Bradley, you've had a front row seat to some of these changes. For instance, at Uber, from the startup founder to more to Dara, basically. Is it a time for a Dara moment at Tesla?
Yeah, I mean, I think Elon has to make some choices, right? I kind of get the notion that if you're him and you're thinking, why don't I just keep pushing the envelope, see how much I can do, see how much I can get away with, see how rich and famous I can become. And so I get why he's doing.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what Elon's thinking. How rich and famous can I get? And you know what? I think that manning Doge is the best way to get rich and famous. Let's start with rich. Did joining Doge make Elon rich? No, it cut his wealth in half. Did joining Doge make Elon famous? Nope. Half the population hates him now. But thank you so much, Mr. Tusk, for taking us into Elon's mind like that. And yes, this guy's name is Tusk, not Musk.
Doing that. But let's be honest about Tesla. It is a company that is massively overvalued solely based on the pixie dust of the notion of Elon Musk's kind of magic abilities and retail investors believing in that. And he, to a certain extent, has to choose if he wants to keep reaping the benefits of that. He needs to be at Tesla and be focused on Tesla. If he'd rather focus on Doge or SpaceX or XAI or whatever else it is, that's fine. But what he can't have is the cake of way artificially high valuations for Tesla and then eating it too, meaning doing everything but Tesla.
This guy runs a venture capitalist firm, right? Surely he could understand that Elon doesn't set the valuation for Tesla. Do I really need to educate him right now that the market sets the price? Do I need to tell him that despite Elon spreading his focus across 6 companies, that shareholders still voted twice in favor of making him a very, very juicy compensation package? Don't tell Elon how to spend his time when his shareholders are in support of how he's spending his time.
Well, I'm curious, if, like, as you said, the company is highly reliant on him being the leader and kind of continuing to create shareholder value that way. But given what happened over the past couple of months, people, attacking Teslas, protesting outside of dealerships and whatnot, is it due diligence by the board? Again, they've denied that they did this. It's a Wall Street Journal report. They have firmly denied it. But would it not be due diligence by a board in that position to at least ponder whether the CEO should be replaced?
Look, I think that's obviously the kind of conversation that you should always look when something is not working, and Tesla shares are down about 40%. So therefore, in any situation like that, you want to ask what changes need to be made, and everything's on the table, and you work backwards from there. With that said, I mean, Tesla still has a market cap of over 3x that of Toyota. And so if what your goal is just to have the highest valued company possible, the best thing they can do is have Elon back in the driver's seat, focused on it. And if you're a board member, your compensation is tied in many ways to the value of the stock as well. So I get why they're denying it right now. But if he truly can't focus on it, that's a different story.
Yeah, he's right. If Elon can't focus on Tesla, then that's a different story. But they approached Elon. They said that they need more focus. Elon did not have a problem with it. On the earnings call, he said, I'm going to give you more focus. But then the Wall Street Journal comes out and says that they're looking for a new CEO. Tesla says this is absolutely false and that the board is highly confident in his ability to continue executing on the exciting growth plan ahead. Elon comments on the situation, saying it's an extremely bad breach of ethics. It was a deliberately false article. He calls the WSJ a discredit to journalism. And then he goes to Holmar's catalog and replies to one of his posts about FSD, saying that several major improvements are coming. So yeah, we could have the conversation if he was unfocused, but I'm not getting that right now.
How much of a Musk premium is currently in the stock?
It's a great question. I mean, look, we're big believers in Elon Musk, as are many. We've covered the stock for a long time, and he is singular. He's been able to take basically a concept of a company and push it towards being the most highly valued automaker. We respectfully disagree with the other guests that it's overvalued. I mean, we're meat and potatoes analysts, so we look at earnings power of stocks, and there's a lot of earnings power in short order in this company. Not to mention the generational opportunities ahead with things like robotics and autonomy. So Elon Musk is incredibly important to the company. The company's going through a lot of transitions right now in terms of moving to more of an autonomous platform and with other opportunities in robotics. So we think the company needs him, and in our opinion, it would be sad if he left.
The company completely needs Elon, and he was just asked how much of a Musk premium is baked into the stock. And for anyone who needed a data point that said Tesla would be better off without Elon Musk, we got our data point last night. Even though the WSJ has kind of tarnished their reputation over the last couple of years when it comes to stories about Tesla, the Tesla share price fell over 4% in overnight trading amid the WSJ report. So that is evidence that the market would not like a scenario in which Elon was no longer the CEO of Tesla. And I could completely see why. It's his ability to spread his talent across his companies. What he learns at one company could be applied to another. Engineers all over the world want to work for this guy, and if you lose him, you also lose the talent.
We have a $303 price target, which is $20 ahead of where we are now. So would you say that Musk is half the value of the company, more, less?
There are a lot of very, very competent people who work at Tesla. We've met with many of them, but we think he's the driver, pun intended. I mean, he's the one pushing for the company to move into other avenues, whether it's, like I said, autonomy, robotics, energy storage. And he represents significant value there. He's helped to create a lot of it by being singularly focused on the EV opportunity and now on other opportunities. So he represents a significant amount of the value of the firm for sure.
Yeah, let's say Elon just happened to pass away tomorrow. How much do you guys think that Tesla stock would fall? Let's make that the question of the day. I know that it's a dark question, but I think as investors, it's an important question to consider when one man is so influential. The guy is ballsy as they come, and he handles an immense amount of pressure, and he takes on an incredible amount of risk. I really do not think that Tesla would be rolling out robotaxi in 4 weeks if it was not for Musk stubbornly insisting that the Cybercab does not have a steering wheel and that it comes as fast as it has. He's made himself look like an idiot for the last 9 years by saying every year that robotaxi is going to come, but he sacrifices his reputation to make predictions to get his teams to work faster. And that is certainly not something that most CEOs are willing to do. Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, says Tesla is lucky to have Elon leading the company. Not only has he generated more shareholder returns than any car company in history, he is also the longest serving CEO of any American car company ever. The Wall Street Journal has been at war with Elon for years. It's getting boring. He keeps winning and the WSJ keeps losing. Maybe they should take notes. Yeah, 11 years ago, Elon predicted that we would be on Mars by now, and we're not. 9 years ago, he predicted we'd have self-driving cars by now, and we do not. And people will sit around all day long writing about how he's a failure because of that, and that he's a liar, and that he's a stock pumper. And in his effort, all we got was rockets that land themselves, and robotaxis just a few years late. What a failure. See you guys tomorrow.